So this is Munch Mobile, and maybe we are alive. Hopefully. Well, I'm gonna hope we are, because this is an amazing arcade game from '83 by SNK, who would later become famous for the Neo Geo and the various franchises and games for it. But before they made the Neo Geo, they made amazing games like Munch Mobile, which we'll be playing for score, and scoring will involve, like our car is here, spelling the title, grabbing some tins with a long arm right here, and we can get the run started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And so right away we'll start from round 1, driving on this road, grabbing a bit of cherries off the side of the road. And we also need fuel to keep the car running. He may need fuel, but he also needs fuel. He's quite a hungry car. Missed that apple, but we can get this gas here, get this apple. And we can also get extra points from dropping the food that we've eaten into garbage bins. Let's not hit the side of the road. If we hit the side of the road, we crash the car, and that would be a tragedy, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Get these fish, drop them in the bin for the 600 bonus points. Let's see if we can get these fish. Some of these fish spawn on a random side of the road. They could have spawned on the left, but good that they spawn on the right instead. Let's see where these fish spawn. I think that's the last fish. Then we got just these cherries. Get the apples in the bin. Then we got some rocks on the road. Need to avoid them and not be a pixel on top of them, otherwise we die. Then we're gonna be chased by the police for littering. The police cars always spawn on the side of the road that we're on, so we just move away once they show up. A couple of rocks while we eat this pudding, and that's the end of stage 1. Very good. And as you can see, counting down the score at the end of the stage takes a while, so this is not a full speed run. Since if you wanted to go faster, you could just not eat anything and make the countdown be a bit quicker, but that wouldn't be a very fun way to play now, would it? And it would leave our car hungry. We don't want to find out what happens if he ends up being hungry when he gets home, you know? We want to keep him fed and happy. And as you notice, the game is now running much faster than on stage 1. The whole game actually slows down and renders much slower on stage 1 as a tutorial. And it starts running at the proper speed on stage 2. Get the fuel, get the apples. Let's see if we can get the fish in the bin. Got the small pallet glitch there with those 2 fish. You see how the 600 bonus point display was of a glitch color. And the fish also changed color when we dropped it in the bin. That's a small pallet glitch that happens when you drop items into a specific pixel on the edge of a bin. Nice touch you can give. Unfortunately, it's just a visual glitch, no impact on gameplay. Get this color. Now we've got an intersection, the first of many. We need to stop before the light, before the traffic light, in order for the lights to give us right of passage, so the crossing cars will stop and let us pass. If you don't stop in front of the road, or stop too far from it, they won't actually stop for you, which can get really troublesome. Touch the rocks, get the pudding. Then there's gonna be 2 more police cars while we drop these items in the bins. There we go. And that's the end of stage 2. Very good. Get in the garage. And there's this lovely couple here at the end of stages 2, who might be the drivers of Munch Mobile, or Munch Mobile's owners. We don't really know how the lore goes in this game. But certainly Munch Mobile is not homeless. He's got a loving home, a good family. Let's see if we can get all the items in the start of stage 3 here. At the start of stages there's usually this really tight section with a lot of items. Then we got a fuel can here right after this that we need to grab, otherwise we die by running out of fuel. Got the fuel alarm right there from running low. From this point on we can't really afford to miss most fuel cans anymore. The first 2 stages are a bit more forgiving, but from this point on we need to land them. And we've got a steep turn coming up after these fish. Right here. And we need to grab this fuel without letting our arm hit the bush. We haven't done that yet, but if your arm hits a bush while it's out, you stub it. And when your arm is stubbed, you can grab items and you will drop any items you are currently carrying. And if that is a fuel grab that you need to stay alive, then you will end up dying and losing a life. And we're playing this on run settings. In previous marathons where I did this game, I was playing it on marathon save settings with extra lives, just in case things went wrong, but I'm playing on the default lives this time, which, since this is an arcade game, are strictly limited. You see in the lower right corner, I have 4 cars. Those are all the lives I'm gonna have for the run. So let's hope I don't die too many times, otherwise we might have a bit of trouble finishing the run. It's gonna be fine. Just dodge these cars. And that's gonna be another turn. And on these steep turns you see how I'm wiggling the stick. The controls for those turns are quite special. You see, if you hold down in this game, like I'm doing right now, you stop the car completely. And when you stop the car, you can't move left or right. You can only stand still until you start moving again. But you can also tap down and then release it in order to enter a half speed state. And in the half speed state you can still do turns. That's what you need to do on those steep turns. Enter this half speed state and then go left and right to get a steeper turn. Now we gotta dodge these fire trucks, which are one of the only things in this game that are smaller hitboxes than it looks. Much smaller than the pixel-precise police cars. Park in these corners right here. Make it to the end of the stage. Actually, I almost hit the right edge of the garage door right there. You can actually still crash here at the very end and enter in the garage. Good thing I just barely wasn't too far to the right. That was a bit close. And we've already halfway through the game, now to round 4. We've got a relatively tight fuel group coming up here, which we need to be ready for. Right here. Missed a couple of those items to be safe since I was a bit late on the cycle, to make sure that I'm ready for the fuel. You also need to grab your existing item before you can grab new stuff, which can be a threat when you're going for fuel. You're trying to drop your existing item literally on the road, but sometimes, depending on how you do the inputs, you can actually fail to drop an item, and then you've got a full hand while you're still reaching for the fuel and you can't grab it, which can get really bad really quick. And the way this arm works, if you noticed, it's a bit like a crane game. Kind of like the one in LADX, Link's Awakening, where you go for the Yoshi doll. It only grabs an item when it's turning from open hand to a closed hand. And if you close it in the wrong place, then before you can grab an item again, you need to do some wiggling of the hand open close inputs to open it again. It can't grab items while it's already closed, so I had to extend and re-extend that since I missed the first grab. But luckily we had time to do that though. Again, wiggle through that steep turn. Gonna have an intersection here. Missed that one apple but got the rest. Waited for the lights to turn to get right of passage. Got another fuel group coming up, we can't miss this. Get the fuel. Just so. The hitbox of the hand is quite interesting in this game as well. It's a bit lower or higher than you think. We want to grab these items a bit from below them, ideally. If you're above the item you can miss it, but if you're below the item you'll usually get it, so we want to be a bit undershot with the hand. Better be too low than too high, since we can always move the arm higher by driving a bit further if you want to. But if you've already gone up, there's no way to reverse in this game, you can only stop. So if you've gone past the hitbox of the item, you can't get it anymore. Dodge these police cars. Then we got 2 more police cars. And my nose is leaking a bit. Good thing this is an online event, so we don't have to worry about infecting others with these germs. Get the fuel. Then we have to go here to dodge the incoming fire truck. Have to be early there. And this time the fire trucks are stronger than on the previous stage. They're gonna be coming on every pocket and we need to park here. Grab the watermelons and drop them into the bins in the meantime. Wait for the fire truck to pass. We need to be pretty specific in the timing to exit the pockets as well. Otherwise you run into this rubbish bin in front of you when exiting the pocket. Drop the watermelon below this bush on the right. Here's a fun game for you viewers at home. Can you spot the watermelon hiding behind this bush on the lower right? And this is going really well so far. We also get a double score on this end stage countdown if we didn't die at any point during the stage. So we got some really good points there. And we won the 5th stage now. As you can see, the palette has changed again. I'm guessing this is dinner time for Munch Mobile. Time for a nice meal. Romantic dinner. All the good stuff. I'm a bit late on this. Need to be careful. And you see I'm already almost running out of fuel. What you need to do here is go to the very top of the screen in advance and grab that fuel can on the right immediately. Otherwise you already run out of fuel before you can grab it. Need to be very aggressive starting from this stage with many grabs. Let's get some of these fish. Get the apples. Got the pallet glitch there again. Twice in a row. Got the fuel on the left. Steep turn with the wiggle again to slow down the car a bit. In the bin it goes. The cola. Then there's another fuel can here on the right. Need to go for that and skip that bottle on the right. It's easy to sometimes get distracted by the items while you're going for the fuel grab, so need to have memorized where the fuel cans are in the game. So you can be sure to not have your arm full with something else while you go for them. Let's see if we can get all 4 items at this intersection, or only 3 on this one. The next intersection. Stop before the lights, so we get right of passage. You'll notice the cars crossing the intersections have gotten faster across the stages as well. 2 cars here. No, this is actually 3 cars. A lot of the stages in this game feel really copy-paste, but there's subtle differences in many of the obstacles, like that having 3 cars instead of 2. And you can get tripped up by some of these alternate sequences of the copy-pasted objects. Thinking you're on another stage, but it's actually another version with slightly different patterns. Dodge these pixel rocks. Made it through. Then we got more fire trucks. Again, we're gonna hide in the pockets. Park in the pockets so it goes by. Make a steep turn. Then we need to make a tight fuel grab here from the left, and then wait here in the pocket for the fire truck. Need to be fast with that one to be safe. This is some... Oh! You see how we crashed on the left rear bumper of the car. That is how tight some of the hitboxes in this game are. You really can't afford to go off-road. In some places you can afford to go a couple of pixels, but that turn is a bit more punishing. So we respawn from a checkpoint, and I need to be careful right now. To recover from this, we're gonna do this tight fuel grab again. It was like 1 pixel away from crashing into the fire truck. That was close. It's getting close. There we go. Got past that point where we previously died. Then we got these wonderful tunnels. Quite nice visibility, but since you know that the road is always dark blue and the grass is always green, you just need to avoid the green stuff, follow the blue road, and it's not as bad as it looks. Got the fuel can. Then another tunnel. It's just more of the same. And that's the end of the stage. There we go. 1 blunder in this stage, but still going pretty good. Since we died, we don't get the double stage end bonus here. Which also means the countdown is a bit quicker. Then stage 6 again, it's gonna be a really tight beginning of the stage. We'll see if we can get all the items here. Got all 3 in that turn, that's quite tight. And again, we're gonna have a very tight fuel grab at the end of this opening section. But we need to hug the top of the screen in order to be able to grab the fuel fast enough. We'll see if we get it. Alright, here I need to go here in advance. Go for the fuel, and there we go. Got it. Cherries in the bin. Then we go fishing again. The fish are nice since they're some of the easier objects to grab, as you don't need to do any driving while you're going for them. They just always spawn in the center of the screen. Then we got another tight fuel grab coming up here. We're gonna skip this fish and camp there so we can instantly grab the fuel. Otherwise we again run out of fuel and die. Some pallet glitches with the fishes. These are some pretty big fish that the Munch Bobble is eating too. And you may notice that he seems like an omnivore. Coal is good, apples are good, cherries are good, money is good, and fish are good as well. And he's got a pretty big arm, so hopefully he's not going to eat your dog while he's pooping on the side of the road. That would be a tragedy. But we just don't know. Again, we want to stop on these intersections to get right away. Need to follow traffic law. Though even if we do follow traffic law, the police will still come after us. I guess it's all the littering. Then we got another steep turn with a fuel grab. Just need to be aggressive on the turn and we can always make this. Then we got the troll car from the tunnel again. So we can't go to the turn too early. Then we got 4 cars, the 4th one right now. The only point in the game where you get 4 cars in a row. Then we got 2 cars and then a special intersection. We want to go aggressively forward to grab these 2 items early. Change the lights and then dodge that car. Dodge the rocks. Let's not get hit by the rocks, okay? Then we got another tight fuel grab coming up. As you can tell by the warning light coming up, we need to drive forward, get the fuel. There we go. Got it just in time. Then some more fire trucks need to wait here before crossing into the road. Then look get caught. Cross the steep turn. Getting close to the end stretch. I almost stubbed my arm on that road sign there. If I did that, I would have missed the fuel can and died. But thankfully I stopped the arm just in time. Okay, there we go. Can stop the up on those trees here. That animation with his arm hurting is it's really nice. You don't actually take damage or anything, you are just not able to use the arm for the duration of that animation. Which can result in you dying indirectly from being able to miss fuel cans due to it. Get all the 4 items. There we go. Then some more of these low visibility tunnels. I think we got the final turn coming up here. And time is gonna be at the end of the score countdown, when it reaches 0. So when this 240 has reached 0, that's gonna be time for this run. And the countdown's quite slow on these later levels where it gives a ton of points. Are we gonna go past 1 million? Oh yes we are. And that's time. That's a real nice run, just 1 death. And then there's one more thing that I want to show you, which is how you die in this game. We already crashed the car once in this game, but I'm gonna crash on purpose to show you that the rear bumper indeed is a weak spot for this car. You just graze the grass for just a bit with it, and you explode. And normally in an arcade game, you would be able to enter your initials to have your high score recorded on the machine after you've completed your game. After we just lose our cars here. But in this game, there's a bit of a twist to it. As soon as we get rid of our final life. So there would be an opportunity to enter our initials right here. but instead there's sound effects playing when I move the stick, as if initials were being chosen, but the game doesn't actually let you choose any initials. They didn't probably. I don't know if they tested the game or anything, but the initials entry in this game definitely isn't working properly. And that's Munch Mobile. Really amazing game. And it's actually available on Steam nowadays as part of the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. Not only playable on emulator, but also as an official port, which is also emulated. But, you know, you can get this awesome game commercially today. That's amazing. And I think that's everything from me, so bye-bye, guys.
Alright, thank you for your run, Eero, and we're going to continue with New Super Lucky's Tale right after.